Chosen one, you are urgently needed. Urgent message. There is something shifting in the atmosphere, something moving fast toward its divine conclusion. There's a role only you can fulfill, and the urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. Heaven has marked your name, and this is not a drill. This isn't just another day. It's a divine call being sounded into the deep. You're being called forward, not later, but now. You're not just part of what's coming. You are a crucial part of why it's coming. This is a divine dispatch sent directly to you. Your presence, your essence, your obedience. These things are not optional. They are required in this hour. Watch this video until the very end. You're going to feel it. Deep in your soul, something will shift. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and write Amen along with the number 99. Let your words carry energy. Let them stir the universe. Let them signal that you are present, aware, and ready for what heaven is calling you into now. Chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Something is happening, something major, and it's not happening randomly. It's happening because a specific divine sequence has been triggered. A heavenly timeline has opened, and your name appeared in the very center of it. This isn't just about fate, it's about spiritual alignment. The type of alignment that doesn't knock politely, it roars. It shakes your environment. It draws your focus inward while pushing your spirit upward. This is the hour when your name is echoing through corridors that others cannot even hear. You are urgently needed because what you carry cannot be replicated. God didn't assign your role to a substitute. He formed it around you. That urgency you've been feeling lately, the pressure, the restlessness, the sudden internal shift is not anxiety. It's divine alertness. It's your spirit responding to a celestial pull. Something ancient inside you is waking up. Something royal, something that has been preserved for this exact moment. God does not send warnings to those who are out of alignment. He sends urgency to the ones who are in position. You have not been forgotten. On the contrary, you've been hidden for impact. You weren't passed over, you were preserved. But now the cover is lifting. Now the sky is sending signs. And the urgency is not just to inform you, it's to awaken you. The spiritual alarms are going off. Not to scare you, but to rouse you. This is the time when heaven reveals the reason for your battles. The reason you couldn't quit. The reason why the doors you wanted didn't open. And the reason why silence met you in seasons you were sure would bloom. The reason is arriving now, and it's showing up with force. It's going to move quickly, and that's why God needs you fully engaged, not distracted, not half-hearted, present, alert, ready. You might not have been sure if you were chosen, but the urgency doesn't lie. This calling has a frequency, and you're hearing it. The ringing in your soul, the stirring in your chest, the rising sense that something is about to break wide open. That's the proof. That's the indicator that you are on heaven's radar. You are not random. You are not replaceable. You are required. Now, the environment around you may seem quiet, but that is not a sign of absence. It's a sign of setup. God does some of his most powerful work in silence. You don't need everyone to understand what's shifting in you. That's not their assignment. It's yours and it's personal. This moment is between you and God. And while others sleep, your spirit is being stirred because you've been selected quietly, powerfully, intentionally. The heavens are moving in your favor. There is a divine push happening, and it's pulling you into rooms your name has already entered. This isn't about effort anymore. It's about obedience. God is doing something massive, and the invitation is loud. Step in. You are urgently needed because the atmosphere requires your presence. Something in the future has already made space for your arrival. That's why the now is moving so fast. That's why your soul can't ignore it. Let go of trying to understand it all. You weren't asked to analyze, only to align. And alignment feels like fire right now, like your soul is being stretched toward a destiny you didn't even feel ready for. But God knows you are. He knows what he placed in you. He knows the layers you had to shed, The nights you cried in silence, the weight you carried without recognition. And now heaven is answering that weight with urgency. Not to crush you, but to call you forward. This is the announcement you didn't expect but desperately needed. To be urgently needed by God is no small thing. It means He sees you as capable, as trustworthy, as essential to the plan. And He does not make mistakes with who He selects. There's no one else walking this earth with your exact blend of experience, energy, and essence. You are the one He's looking to, not just to receive, but to respond. And when you do, chains fall, paths open, and destinies shift. Not just for you, but for others who've been waiting for your arrival. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly on time for a spiritual appointment that was made long before you knew to prepare. This is why you felt strange lately. Why you couldn't explain your emotions. Why your environment started changing without warning. Why certain people started falling away. It's all divine. It's all timed. And now the call has gone out. You are urgently needed. God is sending people into position, and you are one of them. That's why this message is reaching you now. It's confirmation. It's alignment. It's fire in your bones and clarity in your mind. It's the moment your inner world matches the vibration of the new world you're being summoned into. You've been waiting for the sign, and this is it. Not a prediction, a proclamation. Let your feet move differently. Let your posture shift. Let your words carry the weight of someone who knows they've been summoned by something greater than them. Let your presence command attention, not by force, but by divine frequency. Because when God says you're urgently needed, it means the time of being overlooked is over. It means preparation time has ended. It means heaven is backing you with force. The urgency is holy. The timing is divine. And the moment is yours. The moment you started feeling that unshakable tension in the air, the one that made no logical sense, the one that made you restless at night, it was the signal. It was the inner confirmation that something had already been released in the spiritual realm and was now looking for a vessel. That vessel is you. You've been activated, chosen one. And this urgency is not chaos, it's clarity from another dimension. God has authorized movement, and that movement requires your hands, your voice, your presence. The energy around you isn't random, it's reactive. It's responding to your calling. This is the moment where your silence turns to sound, where your waiting becomes movement, where the invisible starts forming into the visible because heaven can't keep what was promised hidden any longer. What was whispered in the spirit must now be echoed in reality. And it starts with you. You're not just being told you're needed, you're being summoned into the very fabric of what must now unfold. The alignment is personal. The assignment is undeniable. And God has decided that your presence will not just witness it, your presence will activate it. You've been sensing a shift. Even in moments of stillness, something has been vibrating beneath the surface. That's not your imagination. That's the frequency of your future tapping into the edge of your present. It's trying to enter. It's trying to land. But it won't land where there's no readiness. And the reason this urgency won't leave you alone is because you're the one it's meant to fall on. You're the landing strip for glory, the conduit for breakthrough, the living answer to someone else's prayer. There are places where your voice is about to cause divine tremors. Rooms that have been spiritually dormant are about to stir because you walked in. It's not about being loud. It's about carrying weight. And you carry the weight of something sacred. That's why God is urging you to move. Not tomorrow, but now. That's why doors will begin to open without warning. Because your spirit already knocked. You didn't even know you were signaling heaven, but you were. Every time you stood when it was easier to collapse. Every time you kept moving forward when all signs pointed backward. Heaven took note. You are urgently needed not because of your perfection, but because of your position. And your position has been shaped by pain, by wilderness, by waiting, by hidden victories no one saw. It was shaped when you chose peace over revenge, when you held your tongue, when you could have let it all burn, when you forgave silently, when you stayed faithful with no audience. All of that was molding, and now it's time to step into the role that suffering secretly built for you. The rush isn't a warning, it's an invitation. The reason you feel like you can't delay is because what's coming doesn't wait for hesitation. This is a season of now, a season where spiritual timing is everything, where one yes changes years, where one movement creates waves across realms, and that's why you're feeling the pressure. Not because you're breaking down, but because you're breaking out. The old shell of you cannot contain what's entering. The urgency is coming from the future version of you that already knows what's ahead and is calling you forward with force. God isn't just nudging you, He's lifting you. There's a divine wind rising behind you, pushing you into places you didn't apply for, into rooms you didn't even know existed. You're going to walk into things that don't make sense to your mind, but are in complete agreement with your soul. You're going to realize why you were delayed in the past. It was to be in sync with this present. The moment is not missing you. It was made for you. You may feel underprepared, but you're fully qualified in the spirit. God doesn't wait for human approval to validate divine instruction. The urgency doesn't require consensus. It only requires obedience. And you've been trained for this moment in the dark. In the secret places where no one clapped, in the moments where you thought your endurance was for nothing, it wasn't. Every tear was counted. Every setback was timed. Every betrayal redirected you into deeper purpose. And now the signal has gone out. You're needed not for show, but for shift. Not to impress, but to impact. Not to blend in, but to break patterns. God is awakening the disruptor in you. The one who doesn't do it like everyone else. The one who hears a different rhythm. The one who was never meant to fit in because you were made to stand out. And when God sends an urgent message, it's because something irreversible is being released. Something you were born to carry. You're not stepping into this by accident. The urgency you feel is being echoed in realms you cannot see. Angels are already moving. Favor is already positioning. The ground is already being cleared. All that's required now is your yes. Not a loud yes, not a dramatic one, but a full one. A quiet, unwavering yes from your spirit that tells God, I'm here. I hear you. I'm ready. Because the assignment is not coming. It's here. The season is not preparing. It's ready. And the shift is not gradual. It's instant. You are urgently needed because the release is happening now, not later. Now. And God would not be stirring your soul if you weren't a vital part of this next divine wave. What's about to unfold requires you. Not your old version, but the one you've secretly been becoming. The version forged in fire. The one that doesn't flinch at fear, the one that moves with boldness even when trembling inside. That's the version that's being called forward now, and no one else can answer this call for you. The message is clear, the moment is here, and the urgency is holy. You've been waking up with a strange pulse in your chest. Not panic, not confusion, but something else. It's been hard to describe, hasn't it? Like an invisible voice calling your name without using sound. Like something has been watching your steps, placing signs in your path, making things feel both unfamiliar and divinely orchestrated at the same time. That's because it's real. You are not imagining it. This is what it feels like when God begins to pull you toward your precise moment. A divine convergence is taking place, and you're at the center of it. This is why things have felt more intense, more symbolic. Why certain phrases hit your spirit deeper than ever before. Why your surroundings feel like they're quietly preparing for something to arrive. Because the unseen has already moved. The spiritual chessboard is being reset. And you, chosen one, are being repositioned, not for survival, but for activation. Your entire life, even the setbacks, has been a countdown to now. God never wastes a moment, and especially not yours. That's why He's moving in your atmosphere with such deliberate urgency. He's not rushing because something is broken. He's moving quickly because something is perfectly timed, and you're the one that time has been waiting on. Every strange occurrence, every internal stirring, every unexpected confirmation was a coded signal. God has been speaking in frequency, not just language. And your spirit understood before your mind caught up. That's why this moment feels sacred. You don't need a full explanation. You just know something has arrived. This urgency isn't fear, it's focus. It's the recalibration of your soul, the pull to stop lingering in what no longer fits. You've outgrown places you tried to shrink into. You've graduated from patterns that no longer nourish your purpose. And God is not letting you return to what you've already evolved beyond. You are being redirected without permission because heaven doesn't need approval. When purpose is at stake, what's coming will not wait for comfort. It will arrive where courage meets obedience. And that's where you are right now. Standing at the intersection of what was and what must now be. This isn't just a message, it's a moment. And moments like these create momentum that cannot be undone. Even if no one around you sees it, feels it, or understands it, the urgency is still real. Because it was never about others recognizing the shift. It was about you stepping into it. This is personal. It's spiritual and it's non-negotiable. The kingdom has sent a call. The realm of the unseen is vibrating with your name on it. And delay is no longer an option. You're stepping into a future that has already prepared room for you. Doors are going to swing open that you didn't knock on, not because of chance, but because of assignment. There are things assigned to your presence, places that were dull until your energy arrived, rooms that were locked until your authority walked in, conversations that could not begin until your voice was present. This is why God is calling you forward now, because what's meant to unfold will not do so until you say yes. You are not just a receiver. You are a trigger, a walking ignition switch. Your alignment activates environments. That's why the enemy tried to exhaust you before the moment hit. That's why you felt resistance in places that once felt easy. The darkness always knows when the light is about to increase. But your light has not dimmed. It has only been concealed until now. God is now revealing you, not by promotion, but by purpose. Not to put you on display, but to place you in position. The urgency isn't about getting attention. It's about fulfilling destiny. You are being deployed spiritually, energetically, prophetically, not into war, but into victory, not into chaos, but into clarity, not into uncertainty, but into undeniable presence. You're going to feel the shift in your bones, in the way you breathe, in the way you speak, in the way your very essence begins to interrupt atmospheres. It won't be loud, but it will be potent. You will know that you are moving in something divine because everything will start responding to you differently. Environments will feel thinner. Conversations will hold more weight. Silence will feel holy because your spirit will be tuned into heaven's frequency in a way that no distraction can sever. This is the spiritual alert you didn't see coming, but your soul knew it was on the way. You may have wondered why the urgency felt so heavy, why it wouldn't let you rest, why it woke you up when everything else was asleep, why it made your heart beat a little faster when you thought of certain places, certain people, certain paths. Now you know the divine instruction has been released and it's looking for your movement. It's not about being prepared in a worldly sense. It's about being open, being available, being in flow with what God is unfolding. This is where miracles happen, not because you forced them, but because you finally agreed with them. Heaven has already spoken. The decision is already made. All that's left is your agreement. An agreement carries a frequency that commands things to align. The old is crumbling, not to punish you, but to make space. The familiar is fading, not to hurt you, but to free you. And this new urgency is not an attack. It's a torch, a signal fire in the spirit, calling you toward the place where your purpose meets your presence. This is not a time to shrink. It's a time to stand up and be counted among those who are willing to answer when heaven called unexpectedly. You are not behind. You are not mistaken. You are not losing your way. You are awakening, and every piece of confusion, every layer of fatigue, every ounce of hesitation is burning away under the heat of divine urgency. God is fanning the flame in you. He's not letting you settle, not because you're failing, but because you're favored. And favor carries an urgency that average cannot understand. Let this message echo in you. Let it linger longer than doubt. Let it overtake every whisper of fear. You are being called not because you are empty, but because you are full of what this hour needs. You are a key. You are a shift. You are a signal to the earth that heaven is moving. There's a spiritual roar that begins softly and then grows until it shakes the walls around your comfort zone. That roar is getting louder now. You've heard it in dreams, in flashes of knowing, in the quiet discomfort that refuses to let you settle. It's been building with each passing day. That's why rest has felt strange lately, why your usual habits don't soothe you anymore, why the world feels offbeat, like it's ticking to a clock you can't see but your soul can feel. That clock is divine, and it just struck. Now, this isn't just a personal shift, it's a collective calling, but you, chosen one, are a key that unlocks the movement. You're not being pulled forward because you're perfect. You're being pulled forward because you're available. Because you said yes in places where others said no. Because you kept going when surrender seemed easier. Because even in your weakness, your spirit never stopped reaching. And now God is responding not to your performance, but to your position. The earth is groaning for something sacred, something real, something pure. And you are the carrier of it. The carrier of presence, of truth, of divine energy that breaks patterns, that disrupts atmospheres, that calls forth what's been buried beneath distraction and delay. This is why God marked you. This is why the fire on your back has intensified, why the pressure has grown unbearable. Because pressure precedes revelation, and revelation births movement. You're in labor with something that can't be postponed. It's been forming in silence, gestating in the depths of your spirit. And now, heaven has issued a divine contraction, a pulling inward, so that you can be pushed forward. The urgency is the final stage, the final countdown before what's in you is released. And it cannot be denied. It will not be stopped because it was created by God, protected by time, and now unleashed by divine instruction. Let yourself feel the weight of it. Let the holy discomfort do its work. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. Something larger than you is pushing through you. That's why everything else in your life has felt like background noise lately. Because the real music is starting to play. And it's your frequency that's tuning the sound. Your vibration is calling this moment forth. The heavens are not only speaking, they're harmonizing with your presence. God is moving you from question to clarity, from waiting to walking, from wandering to witnessing. He's collapsing the gap between what you prayed for and what is now appearing in your hands. And it all begins with your decision to move. Not move wildly, not move blindly, but move as someone who has heard from heaven, who recognizes the rhythm, who feels the divine choreography underneath every step. This season doesn't need more noise. It needs you, the real you. The one who has been refined by fire, not broken by it. The one who has cried in private and stood strong in public. The one who doubted quietly but still showed up. That version of you is holy. That version of you is chosen. And that version of you is being called into position with urgency that will not wait for convenience. The truth is, you've already started shifting. You've been moving internally long before the external evidence arrived. This urgency is simply catching you up to your destiny. And now time is folding. Realities are bending. And what used to take years will begin taking days. That's the weight of divine acceleration. And it's sitting on your shoulders because God knows you can carry it. You don't have to have the blueprint. You don't need to know every detail. You only need to stay in tune with the frequency that's guiding you. The whispers, the nudges, the soul tugs that feel like divine gravity. Follow those. They are not random. They are coded instructions. Invisible coordinates from the throne room of God, written specifically for your spirit to decode. And you are decoding them even now. That's why old systems are rejecting you. Why familiar places no longer feel like home. Why former friendships feel misaligned because your frequency is changing. And urgency always exposes what can't go with you. Don't grieve what is falling off. Rejoice. It means you are being streamlined, made lighter, prepared for speed. You're not losing anything. You're being refined into someone who can move without unnecessary weight. God isn't asking you to perform. He's asking you to be present, to be available, to be aware, because your presence alone shifts things. That's why he needs you now. Not to do more, but to align deeper. The urgency you feel is sacred. It's an echo of heaven's timeline landing in your reality. It's the sound of your name being whispered in the strategy rooms of the divine. You are not being overlooked. You are being launched. And with this launch comes new energy, new clarity, a new atmosphere that recognizes you, that receives you, that responds to you. You're not stepping into places cold. You're stepping into preheated environments, places that have been warmed by your unseen preparation. When you enter, things will begin moving, not because you force them, but because you're the fulfillment of what was missing. This is why it had to take time, why the delay was necessary, why things seemed still for so long. Because God was preparing the stage, not just for you to show up, but for you to be embraced, to be received with power, to walk into the room, and not just be seen, but to be recognized spiritually. And the moment is now. Don't let the quiet fool you. Beneath it, everything is vibrating. Everything is alive. Everything is in motion. The angels are active. The energy is swirling. The signs are aligning. You're not waiting for it anymore. It's waiting for you. The door isn't locked. It's slightly open, waiting for your final step. And when you take it, everything changes. This is the call you've been prepared for, the moment you were made for. And it's dressed in urgency, not because of fear, but because of precision. Because God is not just doing a thing, He's doing it right, and He's doing it through you. You've stepped into the part of your journey where the scenery changes without warning, where the air feels different and yet somehow familiar, like a memory trying to return. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where God intended you to be at this precise moment. And now, that same divine hand that kept you hidden is the one revealing you. This urgency you feel, it's not external pressure, it's internal confirmation. It's destiny telling time. And the hour is now. You've been summoned. And the summons wasn't issued casually, it was encoded into the fabric of your being before you were born. That's why you can't ignore it. That's why it keeps stirring you awake in the early hours. That's why ordinary no longer fits, because the assignment is expanding. The territory is growing and heaven is making it clear. Your presence is required, not optional. Not one day, but today. It's a beautiful disruption. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that rearranges everything in your favor. This is the rearranging season, the holy interruption, and you are being repositioned in a way that only makes sense to the spirit. You may not have the words for it, but your soul already agreed to it. That's why you keep sensing that something huge is just beyond the horizon. Because it is. It's not a fantasy, it's fulfillment. And you are walking directly into it. Your feet have been ordered, your path lit by unseen fire. And the signs around you are not coincidences, they're confirmations. Every unusual encounter, every sudden shift, every divine delay was a breadcrumb leading you here. And now that you're here, there's no turning back. The doors that are about to open will not require force. They will recognize your arrival because you carry divine clearance. You are coded with kingdom access. You've come through the wilderness, through seasons of silence where you wondered if God had forgotten your name. But He hadn't. He was whispering it in rooms you couldn't enter yet, speaking of you in atmospheres where your presence would soon shift everything. And now you're being ushered into those rooms, not with noise, but with power. Not with striving, but with authority. The kind of authority that comes from enduring what should have broken you. This is what it feels like when obedience meets timing. When the long nights, the quiet battles, the hidden sacrifices finally echo loud enough to shake heaven's gates. And now those gates are swinging open. You're not just walking into a blessing, you're walking into a responsibility. One that was tailor-made for you. One that carries your name and your fingerprints. One that God refused to give to anyone else because only you could hold it properly. The weight is increasing not because you're being burdened, but because you're being crowned. The pressure isn't punishment, it's purpose rising to the surface. You're not crumbling, you're crystallizing into your highest form. The version of you that walks boldly into divine assignments, even when the map isn't fully visible. The version that no longer apologizes for being chosen. The version that says, "Yes, Lord," even when everything inside you is trembling. And with that yes comes acceleration. Watch how quickly things move now, how people show up, how opportunities align, how doors swing open without knocking. It's not magic, it's momentum, kingdom momentum, and it's been stored up for this exact hour. God didn't forget. He was simply waiting for the moment when you would fully believe it. And now that belief has unlocked a flood. You felt it already. That flicker of divine recognition when someone said something that pierced straight into your spirit. That moment when the atmosphere shifted even though nothing had visibly changed. That deep, unshakable knowing that something is near. That is the voice of divine urgency. And it's not warning you, it's welcoming you. You are not about to arrive. You have arrived. The light that surrounds you is not distant. It's present. You've become a portal now, a living intersection of divine will and earthly manifestation. And everywhere you go, things will move. People will sense it even if they don't understand it. Environments will shift because your presence is saturated in assignment. This is why you had to feel the urgency, because casual energy cannot carry divine assignments, because this moment is too loaded with meaning to be treated like another ordinary chapter. This is the chapter where everything turns, where the plot sharpens, where heaven leans in closer, where your footsteps become sacred signals to the earth that God is doing a new thing, and He's doing it through you. There's no need to ask for more signs. The signs are everywhere. You've become the sign, the evidence, the walking prophecy, the living confirmation. People who once doubted you will now be forced to watch as everything you felt deep in your spirit begins to take form. They won't be able to deny the glow around you, the peace within you, the divine push behind you. You're not even speaking the same language anymore. Your words are now wrapped in purpose. Your energy feels heavier now, not with burdens, but with power, with revelation, with clarity. That's what divine urgency does. It upgrades you internally before anything external even changes. And that upgrade is already complete.